Good people.
I am Katura Greene.
And I am Tarnaz Greene, and we are
For Life Couple. Today's topic is going to be about
often used and commonly used cliches. But before we do that, we want to say hi to our sponsors
and personal sayings. We're going to say hello to
Lisa Santiago McNeill
and Brian K. McNeill, who are the Empowerment Duo.
And they are on Monday through Friday, 9 to 10.
And we'll be right back.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like.
So good morning.
Good morning.
Make sure you like and share this morning.
Like and share. And as you can tell, we are the stunt doubles for
Brian K. McNeill
and Lisa Santiago McNeill. Let's get right into the subject today. Commonly used cliches. Some people say metaphors.
Well, I like to talk about personal sayings because I think personally I use personal sayings more than I use cliches. What about you?
Personal sayings, metaphors, they're the same thing. So what do you got?
Well, my all-time favorite that my children can attest to is save those tears for now because you just might need them later.
Save your tears for now. And I would reply, or my mother would reply, cat got your tongue?
So, Mr. Greene, Mr. Tarnaz Greene, you chose this topic. Can you tell us why you chose this topic?
I chose this topic because quite often we use metaphors and cliches to do fillers throughout conversations. And sometimes even with spiritual conversations and even in church, we use metaphors and fillers, and such as he's perfect, you're perfect just as you are.
Right. Well, I think in everyday life, we always use quick substitutes. So this is a way to do that. Do you have the definition of cliches so we can bring everybody along with us?
Well, I do, but it's an often used substitute illustration that determines a subject matter, that gives a subject matter substance. For instance, two wrongs don't make one right. Now, there's a lot of sayings that my mother used to say that will probably throw you for a loop, but I want to hear from the audience as well and give us some of your metaphors or some of your cliches.
Well, while we do that, let's look at the actual definition, the true definition.
Okay.
Westbrook.
What I gave wasn't true?
Well, no, it's not that it's not true. I'm just going to give you the actual dictionary explanation for that.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm certainly Brian McNeill today.
It is a phrase, a cliche is a phrase or an opinion that is overused and betrays some lack of original thought. Would you have thought that was the definition?
Sort of, kind of, since I'm literal.
Actually, I'm pretty literal. Lisa said that years ago, and I did not believe that. But as I have grown, she was right on the money.
Well, that is a good explanation. So why don't we talk a little bit about you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Right. So who came up with that phrase? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Well, it certainly wasn't the horse.
So if a horse is going towards water, if he's thirsty, won't he drink it?
Well, sometimes we can take those things too literal. What that means is you can give a person, you can take the person right to the solution, right there in the solution. You can bring him to the door, but you have done that part, and then you cannot make that person take the next step. You cannot make them do that. So you can't make a horse drink. He's got to be really thirsty. He's got to want it.
So can we put that into like a real life scenario?
Well, yeah, if you use a horse.
Well, no, let's use an example of something that you would do in real life that you could take a person to, and then they don't go with, I guess, your suggestion or the solution that's been put in front of them.
Yeah, I guess we can. Well, I think quite often back to a young person. He will remain nameless now. That wanted a scholarship to college, and he was provided with the camps, the tutelage, and everything that he needed to do to make that next step. He was right there brinking on a scholarship to college. And one particular day, in his mind, he decided that he did not want to follow one particular rule. And it was a very, very basic rule that everybody else followed, but he refused to follow it. And because of that, he relinquished his opportunity. So we gave him all the tools, prepared him, and did everything we needed to do to get him there. And because of one personal issue that he had in his mind, he did not take the next step. So that's a great example, in my opinion, of leading a horse, in this case, leading an athlete to a full scholarship that decided not to take the next step.
Well, awesome. So we have some comments. Can you read that, baby? These glasses are
I can read.
strong.
I'm going to pronounce Miss Thomas. Good morning, twins. Great people. Hope you are staying awesome. Thank you so much. And then she came back with a great one that we hear quite often. The wrong side of the bed. You know, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Think outside of the box. You're a loose cannon. I tell her that all the time. She's a loose cannon. A perfect storm. A can of worms. What goes around comes around. Dead as a doornail. Plenty of fish in the sea. Wait, dumb as a box of rocks. Girl, you better stop playing. We've done for the day. I'm going to continue by saying, you go ahead, and then we're going to come back to her next comments.
Well, the grass is greener on the other side. That's something that I've heard over the years multiple times. So what do you think it means by the grass is not always greener on the other side?
Well, it's sometimes that's misquoted. Some say the grass is always greener on the other side. Some people say the grass is not always greener on the other side. Well, I believe that the grass is always greener when it grows near the septic tank or when you use cow manure.
Really?
That's
kind of true, though. That really is true.
Well, you know, that saying came from, if you've ever been on a farm. I don't know if Miss Thomas ever been on a farm, but you will notice that a cow will stick his head outside of a fence, a barbed wire fence, to eat the grass that's on the other side of the fence. And why does the cow do that? You ever notice that?
Yes.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because
it's greener on the other side?
Maybe he thinks it's sweeter. Maybe it's because he can't get it. Well, you know, that means that if you leave your situation that you're in now, it's not always good what you think you're going to. Maya Jones, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to pronounce that correctly. Is it Maya?
It looks like Mia.
Maybe
Mia.
Mia Jones.
Is that correct, Mia?
Or Mia, hit us back and let us know some of your cliches that we quite often use and often overuse. One that I literally could not stand was, "It is what it is." That's
pretty much a newer one. That's
the new folks. That's the young folks.
But is that a cliche or is that a personal saying?
It's just, I think it's really more of a euphemism and that sort of thing. It's a filler.
Right. Well, you know, because he's a speaker, he talks about fillers all the time. So a filler is what?
A filler is when you run out of words and you need to fill something in, like, you know what I'm saying.
So another one that I want to talk about is when pigs fly. When pigs fly.
It's Shaki. Shaki. That's who it is. Miss Jones is Shaki.
Okay.
Nice to see you this morning. go back to the when the pigs fly.
When pigs fly, what exactly does that mean? Because now you do realize that I realize that these are not, it's not literal. I know that.
Yes.
But, we got to put a little fun on it. So I've never seen a pig fly. They don't even get off the ground. So who came up with that? And what was the concept behind when pigs fly?
Well, maybe Dr. Beverly came up with it. Dr. Beverly Thompson. Good morning.
Dr.
Unique
Beverly,
Take
good
Nova.
morning. I was wondering who that was.
Taking over. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Well, the cliche when pigs fly, that means it ain't gonna never happen. When pigs fly, you ever seen a pig fly?
Never.
Whee!
Okay.
That's a commercial. That's a different commercial. When pigs fly, it ain't gonna never happen.
That sounds like the Charlotte Web pig.
It sounds like the web. Oh no, that's from the Geico commercial.
Oh, okay.
All right. I got one from. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Never been on a farm. Oh, okay. Well, tell you what, you ain't far from one. Just go up 16, make a right near Denver, and you'll see a lot of farm animals. I got one for you. This is old school. You don't.
Is it a cliche or
it's
is it a personal saying?
It's a cliche. If you can hum, you can hear.
If you can what?
If you can hum, you can hear.
Yeah.
You know how people always, you'll say something and then there's a hum.
Great day.
Great.
Birth of a Royal Nation. Great day.
Thank you, Birth of a Royal Nation. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning.
So that was like a personal saying, though, right?
It was more of a personal
okay.
saying.
So I have one from old school. My grandmother used to say this, and I didn't even know what this word was until I got in school. Excuse me. Don't spute my word. Now, we all know.
Spute? Okay.
Spute. We all know she didn't mean spute. She meant dispute. However, as a child, I didn't know what it meant when she first said spute. Didn't know what she wanted. I didn't understand it until much later. So she was saying, "Don't dispute my word," which means basically, don't say I'm lying. You're saying that I'm not being truthful here. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you said that. So we're going to go back from a personal saying to one that you've heard many times before. Don't judge a book by its cover. What do you think about that?
Everything is not always what it looks like.
Okay. So if I have a nice cover, glossy, I got the media expert with Brian K. McNeill has my stuff together and my presentation is looking good. So you can't say that you don't think that I'm going to be great.
Oh, you are a great baby.
Oh,
we're talking about Brian or you.
Oh, yeah. Ms. Thomas said, I really don't like that one. It is what it is because it's never what it is unless it's done.
You know what?
I agree.
I did not take on that particular one. And everybody uses it so loosely these days.
I got one for you, Miss Thomas. You don't have a pot. Fill it in for me, Miss Thomas. You don't have a pot to pee in and a window to throw it out of. What does that mean, actually? I think some old school people might know what that means. You don't have a pot to pee in and a window to throw it out of. That actually came about during the Depression. And that really meant that you was very, very poor. And for today's people, it's our young folks that want everything and want to live rent-free, car-free. And guess what? They don't have the means. They're living above their means.
Okay, so what about if your friends jump off the bridge, will you jump off too?
I just thought that was always crazy, and please don't say the other one, but Miss Thomas always add that ignorance is bliss. No, ignorance is ignorance.
So, do you have a personal saying that you go to quite often that you want to share with us?
Yes, give us one that you use quite often. And Lisa Santiago McNeill is chiming in. Good morning, Lisa. Gloria Henderson. Oh, Gloria Henderson. I'm a little confused with that one. But come to us with a personal saying, a cliche that you use, and then we're going to share with you some spiritual.
She said she's ear hustling.
She's ear hustling. Oh, hi guys, I'm ear hustling.
Well, we know that you're talented like that, Lisa, so you can do a couple of things at one time, multiple things at one time.
And I've seen your ears, and they certainly can hustle.
They're kind of small, so why are you saying that?
Because she be leaning.
Ears.
She be
I
leaning.
have small ears too, according to my husband.
Yeah, you do. But you hear everything that you're supposed to hear.
Right. So what about you can bite off more than you can chew.
Lisa got one. We will come back to that one. Not so much. It's definitely your favorite because that's the first time I ever heard it when you said it and then my wife said it. Not so much.
And of course, I got that from you.
I got one. Miss Thomas has shared. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I like that one. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. How about a chicken in the pot?
Wait, well, let's go back to the bird in the hand. It's worth two. I can't even see that. I'm sorry.
A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. She also adds, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. We've heard that one. You made your bed, now go lay in it. Oh, she getting, she done gone down on us, man. Go made your bed, now you go lay in it. What does that mean?
Well, the first one is what I wanted to understand what it meant when people say that, because that one I don't get.
Which one? The bird in the hand?
Mm-hmm.
What that means, and Miss Thomas can agree with me, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. See, if you let the bird in the hand go and try to go after the two in the bush, the ones in the bush may get away. And it might not be birds. There might be two raccoons.
Really? In the bush?
Yeah, raccoons go in the bush. But in other words, you have your breakfast, you have your meal. Don't go chasing something else. I guarantee you Miss Thomas would agree with me.
Okay, Lisa said they can't eat you. I can see that, but I can't see. I don't know what
she said. They can't eat you. Who, the birds can't eat you? Not so much.
What about try everything once? Now, I have a story on this one. Because I said this to my son. We were at Carowinds one year, and my sons did not want to try to ride anything. They didn't want to do anything. They were against it. And they were telling me that they were afraid. And I was like, well, how can you be afraid if you've never tried it? Now, if you try it, you got to try it at least once to determine if you're actually afraid or not. Well, he did try it.
And he was
afraid. And he didn't feel really good when he got off. And I felt kind of bad. However, I felt like he needed to experience that before he could label something. It was more than just a ride. It was a life experience.
And the answer to that, the end result, he never been on another ride.
He doesn't even go to Carowinds. But he did try it once.
Lisa says, when you gotta ask a scary question, you may be afraid of the answer, but they can't eat you. Okay, the answer can't eat you. I think I understand what she means. You're gonna be scared of the question, and you gotta ask the question, but you're afraid of the answer, but the answer can't eat you. It ain't that scary, huh? Miss Thomas has come back with a few fries short of a Happy Meal. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Then she said a dish fit for the gods. Only a face a mother could love. Whoa, Lord have mercy.
Wait a minute, I want to know about the fruit fries. That's a personal saying, right?
That's a new McDonald's. Saying. That's new 20. That's new 2020 stuff.
That's pretty good though. I like that one.
How about
I'm writing that one down.
How about a drop in a bucket? All right, a flying moment, or a flying ointment, a fish out of water. A good man is hard to find. Well, we don't want to go there. A good man is good to find. That's what that was. I want to say that, Miss Thomas. A good man is good to find. So let's talk a little bit about some of the spiritual ones that I've heard before. And it goes like, and this is old school. God knows ugly. God knows ugly. God knows I love Harpo. God in heaven knows I love me some Harpo.
So what you saying, Harpo was ugly?
Well, kind of put them together because Harpo was a little challenged. I'm just saying, Harpo don't get me.
Can you see that comment from Mr. George Allen?
Is that Mr. George Allen?
That's not the same one, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Allen says, People say you won't find. People say you won't find a cliche. People say you won't find in the Bible. God never gives you more than you can handle. Well, that one's been around, and that's been quite often used, and they use it at the wrong time, especially when someone just lost a loved one. That ain't the time to share it, but people do say that. Yes, indeed, Mr. George Allen, thank you. A house is divided against itself cannot stand, or a window. Miss Thomas is great. We're going to have you to help us out.
Right.
A knight in shining armor, a horse of a different color. All right.
And common sense isn't so common these days.
Common sense isn't so common. And if it was, everybody would have had it. So let's go back to another spiritual one, where there's and you won't find this in the Bible either, where there's a will, there's a way.
When there's a will, there's a way. So tell me, break it down. There's a will, there's a way.
If you have the will, determination, you will find a way. You will make a way. Yes, indeed.
Even when you don't feel like you can, even if you feel like giving up, there's still something in you that can make you push, that you can find a way.
That's the will. That's that determination. And we definitely want to be determined. Miss Thomas is, you're awesome today. Thank you so much. We want to say, my personal cliche is this: stop giving the benefit of the doubt, because in doubt, you have no benefits. Oh, stop
That's
giving them
good.
the benefit of the doubt, because in doubt, you have no benefits. Yes, that's pretty good. Miss Ford, Tamika Ford, good morning. How are you? Like.
The writings on the wall.
The writings on the wall. What if you don't have a wall?
Write it on your hand.
Right on your hand. Oh, see, that's how people get in the fight
There's
right
a
there.
will, there's a way.
Man, we got these. We could come up with these all day, but we got a lot of help from our team. Let's go back to one of the ones that's old, but that people use quite often. And I would say, no, this is something that my mother said. I just want to make sure this is a PG rated show and got to be very careful what we say. But I'm just going to say your mouth is going to write a check that your behind can't cash. You ever heard that one, Miss Thomas?
That's definitely a mama saying. But is that considered a personal saying or a cliche?
That's a personal saying.
Personal saying.
And Miss Valerie Muhammad says, good morning, where is my brother? Good morning, where's my brother? Is that a cliche or is that a question? She said, God don't like ugly. Yes, indeed. That's one of the ones that we mentioned. And what does that really mean, though? God don't like ugly.
He doesn't like sin.
He doesn't like sin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about ugly people.
Really? That's what we're doing today?
No, Ugly. That is Ugly. I'm sorry.
That's what we're doing today?
Well, he don't, when you do wrong, you get wrong. And unfortunately, I believe that Miss Muhammad is correct. No, Brian is my actual brother.
Well, awesome.
Well, awesome sauce. Well, he is out and about and traveling the world. And where is Brian and Lisa Santiago McNeill these days?
Well, they didn't really say where they were at. So
they didn't tell us where they were going. They just sent us.
Lisa can chime in if she wants us to know where she's at.
Yeah, Lisa can chime in if she wants us to know where she is. Where are you, Lisa? And Brian, your sister.
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah, Valerie, you're trying to get us fired. Ms. Muhammad, you're trying to get us fired. That's another cliche. People will quit a job in a minute. No, I got benefits. Give me the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Thank you.
So there's another one that says one door closes, another one opens. So we don't want to close this door on ourselves, by just telling where they are right now.
And this is another one from the Bible that when one door closes,
well, thank you, Valerie.
God opens another door or a window. Well, let's think about that.
Did you add the window to it?
Yeah, sometimes a door will close. God will close a door because he wants you to be still. You understand? He doesn't want you to go through another window or another door. He just wants you to be still. So sometimes when a door is closed, you got to think about it. My mother told me about many instances where she did not want me to go somewhere, and I was really hot with her about it. And I didn't go, and something tragic happened, and I would have been there. And so when God closes a door, there's a purpose behind the door being closed.
And definitely, and I want to put a positive spin on it, actually, because oftentimes he closes doors and we don't see the reason at that moment that he closes the door, as my husband was saying. But sometimes he closes that door because he knows that we will not close it ourselves. We will not close it ourselves. We will stay in a place that we are supposed to be moving, but we continue to stay there. So he has to shut that door for us so that he can redirect us to the area that he actually wants us to go in.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
Amen, sister. Talking about closing doors, how about there's no place like home? You like that one? Straight from the Wizard of Oz. Click your heel 3 times. Click, click, click. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Well, think about it. Home is where the heart is. So when you're at home, you know, it's supposed to be a place of comfort, of a place of rest, a place of love. So yeah, definitely no place like home. So,
Lisa says exactly, and Miss Muhammad says that's so true. Lisa also says, right, I'm learning to, it moved on me really quick. I'm learning to trust God. And that is a daily pilgrimage, trusting God, learning to trust God, depending on how you define home. That's right.
That is true.
Home is where the bed is.
Right.
How about this one, Lisa? Santiago McNeill, don't wear out your welcome. Some people come to visit. You glad to see them come?
That's a personal saying, correct?
Oh, that's personal?
Personal saying.
Oh, I thought that was in the Bible. Yes, indeed. Ms. Muhammad said personal, but it's true. Home is where the heart is, and it's a wonderful thing. When I'll tell you a story real quick. I have a beautiful home here with Katura, but this home without her would be nothing but sticks and wood and some concrete.
Wood and some concrete.
That's right, because you make my home.
Well,
my
you know,
home.
it's very true, and I know we're gonna get off topic a little bit here, but sometimes my husband and I go in different directions.
Sometimes
he may be here and I may be traveling, or he may be traveling and I may be here, and we're together pretty much every day, unless we're traveling and apart. But I find myself when I am apart from him, and this is the first time this ever happened to me in my entire life, that I feel that. I feel like I still want to be connected to him physically. Right here, physically. And that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful feeling to have that. A little scary too sometimes, but that's different.
Yep, but never felt that way before. Miss Thomas comes back with just let it go. Go with the flow. Money is evil. Money is the root of all evil. People quite often use. If you believe it, the universe will make it happen. Those are pretty interesting sayings. But Lisa says true about visiting. Don't wear out your welcome. Visit like fish, 3 days. Both stink.
Well, you know, some people want you to stay longer, though. You go there. We have a friend, my girlfriend Tanya, and we go see her and her husband. We have to escape because they want us to stay.
They don't want us to leave. I don't want to miss the comment.
Well, I can't say Will wants us to stay.
Yeah, Will be ready for us to go. Ms. Thomas said that's a fight saying. Your mouth gonna write you a check. Your behind can't kite. You better believe that that's time to fight. Cleanliness is next to godliness. All right. George Allen says, my mother used to say, if she can't use your comb, then don't bring her home.
Right, that's pretty good.
All right, I like that. If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home.
That's pretty good.
I feel that way also about Brian, and it's very scary to feel that sometimes. That's from Lisa Santiago McNeill. She feels that way about Brian that I feel about you, that my left arm is even getting falling asleep here.
Somebody revealed the location. Lisa, wasn't me.
All right, wasn't me.
Wasn't
Miss
me.
Muhammad, that's
I think
true.
that was Dr. Beverly.
Miss Muhammad said that's true. Luther said a house is not a home when the two of you fall apart. That's just, a chair is not a chair.
So isn't it amazing how personal sayings, let's talk about personal sayings here, get passed on from generation to generation.
Yeah,
right.
It is. It's passed on. And Miss Thomason again told them where Miss Lisa and Mr. Brian is that she in trouble. Miss Thomas, girl, you in trouble. You heard that saying?
So you remember back in the day when your elders, sometimes they would have partaken certain pleasures that you could not, like food, desserts,
spirits, liquor, liquor.
Well, not liquor, baby. When you're a child, you don't want. Maybe you want.
Well,
maybe you want
food.
liquor.
Yeah, food
but
and spirits.
I remember my grandmother always saying when we would say, "Well, can we have some?" And she would say, "Well, if I ate poop, would you eat it too?" I mean, she didn't put it that nicely.
Right. Well, they didn't say that at my house.
They didn't say that?
No.
Well, but that was a go-to for my grandmother.
Right. Somebody said that boy.
Yes, we are.
That boy passed down generation.
Don't remind me of that. But yeah, she had all kinds of sayings like that. But I was like, why you get to have that? We can't have it.
Well, Lisa said something that's really great. She said, "We're the elders now. Ain't that a trip?"
That's what I'm saying.
It is a trip.
Yes.
It is more than a trip,
For
Jack.
Sure.
Yes,
and
indeed.
He is my elder.
Well, again, I am
one.
Tarnaz Greene, and this is Katura Greene, and we are for life couples, and we're here today with you on the Empowerment Duo Network, sharing what commonly used cliches and phrases.
And
quite often we default to those, even in great conversations when we're with a room that is supposedly very intellectual people. We have to be very, very careful. There's another saying that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Have you ever heard that one, Mr. Brian K. McNeill? Have you ever heard that one, sir?
Did Lisa tell you to sing?
Lisa say, "Sing, Tarnaz." That's my sister.
Wrong glasses on
That's my
so
sister.
I cannot see.
Yeah, I need you to stop trying to read, okay? They also say, "What happens at home stays at home, and what happens in Vegas stays at Vegas." But let's go back to what happens at home stays at home. Ms. Muhammad, quite often marital couples, they break that rule. They'll get into a conversation or an argument, and the first thing they'll go do is go tell mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister, uncle, somebody they used to date, and that ain't right. That ain't straight.
Wow. Really? Somebody?
That's another subject. Yeah, people will do that. People will have a conversation, get into an argument at home, and they'll share it outside of the home. Ms. Muhammad says, what stays at home, what happens, should stay at home. Isn't that true, Ms. Muhammad?
And that's very true, because you got to think about it. And you're supposed to learn over life so that you don't have to continue to repeat your lessons over and over. So if you, for instance, had a disagreement with your spouse and you took that information to your relatives, it doesn't matter who.
Big mistake.
And then you tell them what happened, and then they feel in some kind of way because they're on your side, they're with you, they have your back. And then you decide to go home and you forgive all and you've forgotten. Well, they haven't. They haven't forgotten. They are still there, and they're still thinking about what has happened, what has transpired. And now they're holding on to that. Now you want them to get over it, but is it fair for you to bring them in, for them to be upset, and now you just want them to get over it? Doesn't quite work that way.
It
so
doesn't.
That's why it's important.
It doesn't.
To keep your stuff in-house and work it out. Work it out.
You're putting the burdens of your relationship or the burdens of your household on somebody else. But Lisa says something that's pretty interesting. Back in the day, steak and crab legs was not for kids. It sure won't. I ain't getting no steak and crab legs. They had hot dogs and hamburgers. And Guess what? When we grew up, that's when we grew up. We thought it was unfair in store to spoiling our kids no more grown up table. That's right. We give them, our kids go to Longhorn and to Ruth Chris. I didn't know what Ruth Chris was. I thought that was a girl I went to high school with.
I took my granddaughter out one day to Outback, And they give you the adult menu and they give you the kids menu. And I think she was 10. And I said, well, here's the kids menu. And she said, well, Nana, I don't want what's on the kids menu. And I said, well, what do you want? And she said she wanted, it's not the steak. What is that? Prime rib. It was prime rib.
Yep.
I said, what do you know about
She wanted the
prime
most
rib?
expensive thing on the menu because that's what she was.
Well, no, that's because my mom would give her prime rib. So that's what she was accustomed to. So that goes along with what Lisa was talking about.
Yes, indeed.
How we give our kids everything, the things that we did not get that we thought was unfair. We try to give it to our kids and our grandkids now.
That was we were spoiling our kids and we were giving them privilege that they had not yet acquired. But Lisa said something that's very important. It depends on what stays at home has kept many of us trapped in perilous situations. Well, Lisa, that's a point that when you say something that's not an all and it's not defined, I mean, it's not a definite, because when you're in a perilous situation, certainly you have to share. You always have to share, and seeking out help outside of the home. And those are times when there are many times where people do need to speak up. And I will share a story later about that of a young lady that did just that. She spoke up and didn't get the help that she needed. But you are exactly right. So every situation is different. But when it comes to your marital business and just the business at hand, everybody need to mind their own business.
Hi, Tamika.
Tamika Ford, Coach Lisa says, spot on with that one. And Lisa said, we have to reach that difference. Yeah, we have to reach that difference. I am enjoying the show today. Are you enjoying the show?
I am, but I will enjoy it more if I can see these comments.
Well, she can't see the comments, so I'm going to make, I could make your screen bigger, but I don't want to lose the network. No. Not so much. But, today, again, is commonly used, often cliches and phrases and euphemisms that we quite often go to will open up a gambit of subjects that we can talk about. Did we miss anything so far this morning?
I don't think so. I think that I've covered all of my ones that I actually wrote down for myself.
Well, I want to go back to something you said earlier. When I was coming up, when you said bite off more than you can chew, that can go a number of directions. But how about if my mother fixed your plate when I was coming up, you had to eat everything on that plate. Now, some people say that caused obesity. But when I was coming up, if you wanted, you had to eat it. What do you think about that? You're going to have to eat everything that's on that plate. Your eyes are bigger than your belly.
Well, that was not something that my parents, or my grandmother and my mother made us do. Now, I did have a relative that came in, and that was her view, that you eat everything on your plate. Even if you didn't ask for it, because I didn't eat certain things. We're all finicky when we're growing up. And I remember her coming visiting and fixing some items that I was not pretty happy about. And I asked her not to put it on my plate, but she put it on my plate anyway. And she expected me to eat it. So I remember sitting at that table for 2 hours because I was not going to eat it. And I don't know. You were just picky and finicky anyway. Not so much. Right. But that, to me, I don't think that. What does that actually teach you?
Well, it teaches you that don't be asking for stuff that you don't throw
away.
away. It's wasteful. Like Lisa said, it was wasteful not to eat, and it's wasteful to throw away food. But also, Ms. Muhammad says we have to be careful who we share our business with. Lisa says, hi, Tamika. And she said, hi, Coach Lisa. Thank y'all for using this forum to say hello to each other. That is so sweet. Lisa's laughing. But when it comes to food, quite often nowadays, we throw away so much food. We are a wasteful generation.
Well, they did do an article about that recently, but I'm going to defend myself. Hey, Brand, how you doing? I'm going to defend myself on that last story because remember, I said I asked for it not to be put on my plate. So that means that should I be held liable for eating something I never wanted?
Yeah, you
Did
should
you see his eyes, y'all? Did you see his eyes?
Tamika's laughing. She's laughing because I was teasing her about saying hi back to Lisa. But again, commonly used phrases and euphemisms and all of that good stuff. Quite often, we find ourselves even in corporate America using those comments, and sometimes, our audience may look at us a little bit strange. And it depends on generations. It depends on other things that we do. But again, hit us up with a couple more commonly used phrases. Hit us up with something that's really, really weird, that's old, that maybe your parents used to say that nobody else. I want somebody to share with something that they believe that nobody else knows but their generation or their family. Valerie says the food portion sizes have gotten larger now. And that's right. We waste too much food. Lisa says exactly, Katura.
Mm-hmm.
Some families didn't understand giving children choices.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get no choice.
That's right. It was something you didn't do. And I can understand it to a point. But I can see if I was asking for, more of that, if she was giving it to me and I was asking of more and then I decided not to eat it. That could have been a lesson for wastefulness, because now you ask for it, now you eat it. That kind of thing.
Yes,
I can understand that.
I can.
But of course, there's certain things that you don't understand as a child that when you become an adult, you do understand. And vice versa. So
awesome sauce.
Right. So Lisa, you have any more sayings that are your favorite? Give us one of your favorite sayings that you use. Personal sayings, not necessarily a cliche, but a personal saying.
A personal saying, something that really can get people excited or motivated.
What do I say to you? Do I have personal sayings that I say to you quite often?
Not so much.
Lisa gonna feel some kind of way because that's her saying, but of course I adopted it.
Well, Miss Rozier, Jacqueline
is here. Is that the same Jacqueline?
Yeah, it is. And she says, AZ morning, Mr. and Mrs. Greene, 6:40, and I am here. Awesome. You're in Arizona? Nice to see you. Hope to meet you soon.
Awesome.
Brent says, don't complain about what you allow. I heard that. Don't complain about. Brent, I like that. Don't complain about what you allow. Personal one. If you don't like it, change it. I like that, Ms. Muhammad. Why don't we be the change we want to see in the world?
Be the change that you seek.
Be the change that you seek.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have change in your ashtray in your car, put it in a piggy bank. Okay?
Hide it, because your husband will spend it.
Okay. Hide it, because your husband will use it to wash your car and back in your car.
You see how they do? You see how you trying to come back with it?
That's what they do. That's exactly what they do. My mother had one that took me a long time to understand what it was. She said, the more time I spend with you, the dumber I get.
Is that why you always saying that?
Yeah, that's what she said. She said, the more time I spend with you, the dumber I get.
Wait a minute. What about the one?
I say, Mama, that's not nice.
You can't turn for something. You have another one that's a little crazy.
Yes, indeed. Y'all ever heard that one? Farting in church and blaming it on the preacher. That's what you'll do. You'll fart in church and blame it on the preacher.
Valerie said, wow.
That is something else that you'll sit right there in church, and that means you'll tell a L-I-E. Is that the way you spell lie?
L-I-E?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll tell something wrong. That's what Lisa and them was not allowed to say. They was not allowed to say lie. You had to say you're telling a story.
We had to say that too.
And I'm like, I'm not telling a story, you're telling a lie.
Yeah, we had to say that too.
And then I would get
word.
What?
Isn't it amazing how the words that we used back in the day were so modest compared to what they use now?
Yeah, today is a different world we live in, baby. Yes, indeed. We had stories. Our elders told great stories, and they had our attention, and the TV went off because you had 3 stations that was black and white. Ms. Muhammad said lie back then was a curse word.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
And you know what? My children still to this day don't use that. If they use it, they don't use it around me, and they're adults.
Yes, indeed. Brent says a puppy doesn't spend his life announcing it will be a dog one day. I like that. That's what your parents said. A puppy doesn't spend his life announcing, I'll be a dog one day. Woof, woof. I heard that.
Yeah, I can relate to that one because when you're young, you always want to be older.
That's right. When you're young, you always want to be older. You want to do the older stuff.
16. I can't wait till I'm 21.
Phyllis George is here. Miss Phyllis, good morning. How are you? So glad that you could join in with Katura Greene and Tarnaz Greene here today. Stunt doubles for who?
Brian K. McNeill.
And Lisa Santiago McNeill. That's somewhere undisclosed that somebody else shared that we did not share. Okay, let's get that out there. All right. Happy day today, family.
Happy.
All right.
So who's the Facebook user? Mm-hmm. Who's the Facebook user?
Facebook
we
user.
Don't see a name for that.
Give us a name, Facebook user, so we can call you out shout you out because we're gonna do something special today. We're gonna do. We're gonna recite poetry and I'm gonna call everybody out. We're not gonna try to do the songs like Lisa and Brian. Only they could do it that way.
Definitely will not be trying.
We're not their stunt doubles when it comes to that.
With them, but not alone. I hadn't got that good yet.
I'll be Illy Vanilli.
I still like that one. The puppy doesn't spend its life announcing. I need to use that one. That's pretty good.
Well, let's go back to what Miss Muhammad said. There were certain words back when you were coming up that was considered curse words, and you could not call your family member. You certainly couldn't call your siblings a lie. You would actually get punished for doing so, and it was considered a curse word. Are there some other euphemisms around that sort of things that you could not say? Well, there's one. If you will lie, you will steal. Anybody ever heard that one? If you will lie, you will steal. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Every now and then I had to twist the truth a little bit to get out of trouble. So I ain't steal nothing.
You sure?
Well, not on that day. I told a lie. Yeah. So what does that mean? What does some of this stuff really mean? So
I guess because lying is dishonest. So if you're dishonest, you're capable of doing other things that are dishonest.
Valerie said something that was near to my mother's heart. You could not respond with the word what? What? People don't even want you to do that, but you asked the question, what?
So
what did you say?
The word what also, I guess, depends on the area that you live in, if it's acceptable or not, because I know here in the South, that is something we don't say. But I also noticed up north, not everybody.
Up north?
Yes.
Not New York.
People say what without even thinking about it, but it sounds so harsh to a Southerner.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it. What? What?
But most people don't say what.
And
most people say what?
Hey, we got to say hi to Sheila Gothard. And if you steal, you will cheat. I don't know about that. I didn't cheat. Good morning. Good to see you guys. Charlie Currents. Charlie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
If you steal, you will cheat. Well, they say you will. There's a lot of folks ask a guy out in ask an NFL player about stealing. He's in trouble right now because he was stealing. Yeah.
So not nice.
Well, it is. I ain't gonna call his name because I don't want them to try to cancel the show and then Brian try to get me in trouble.
So what about the ball is in your court now?
The ball is in your court. A lot of people that don't play sports have no idea what that means. The ball is in your court.
So you want to elaborate on what that means? My husband is so smart.
I love this. I love it. I love it. When the ball is in your court, that means that the opportunity is passed to you. You have the ball, and now you got to run with it. That's what it means. Jacqueline Rozier said, "You're smelling yourself." What does that even mean? Oh Lord!
It means you're getting older. You're getting older, so you're thinking you know more.
You think you know everything because you're smelling yourself.
Yeah, you just think nobody can tell you anything at that point. And I don't know how they came across that. I don't know who came up with that.
Because it was coming through puberty because they were smelling you.
To know who actually came up with that saying.
My mama.
That followed. Okay, what's the other stuff say, babe?
And it said, don't say ha if you can hear. Definitely, Miss Muhammad, you're great. Thank you so much.
You said that earlier,
yeah,
babe.
we did. Sheila says, there was the end of the saying in my home, not if you cheat. Efferbug something. There's a typo, Miss Gartha. Type that again. Somebody said get your together. All right, Phyllis
That's
George
a
said
personal
don't
thing,
suck your
right?
teeth. Whose teeth, Miss George? Whose teeth you supposed to suck? Somebody else's teeth? Come here, let me suck your teeth.
That's not nice. That's so not nice. The other thing that we actually could not say in our home, in my home, with my children growing up, is the word "shut up."
Shut up.
That is so rude.
Little Richard made that famous. Shut up.
But you remember how you said it's all depending on how you say it.
But Little Richard wore
said,
makeup. He wore makeup and heels too. I'm sorry, I love Little Richard. I'm sorry. He was the first prince. Y'all stole my music. Yeah, he did. Yes, indeed. Y'all have been so helpful today. Time has gotten by.
Yes,
it is already
it sure
shut
is.
up. It's still bad.
It is, and it shouldn't be used. I used to tell my children to say, "Be quiet," or "hush," but not "shut up." You actually had to do 20 push-ups if I caught you saying that word.
Well, you know what you talk about. I was not inferring. I was not inferring. You cheat. Okay.
Inferring.
I know. I'm just teasing Miss Sheila. No, I was just joking. I got you, sweetheart. But it's true. The saying is still that if you lie, you'll steal, and if you steal, you will cheat. That's what it's saying. All right. I still tell my children and grands not to say "shut up." Miss Jacqueline Roger got one. I slapped the taste out of your mouth. Hot dog. Pow! Slap the taste right out your mouth. My mama said that, and not only did she say it, she did it.
Well, we got to leave you guys today.
We don't have to go. We can stay on another hour.
We have to go, and so we're going to leave you with the 3 B's.
The 3 B's.
Be kind.
Be great.
And be intentional.
Be intentional.
I am Katura Greene.
And I am Tarnaz Greene for Life Couple.
And we are for Life Couple.
Yes, indeed.
You guys have an amazing day.
Have a great day, and don't get the taste slapped out your mouth.